Okay guys, this will be the second video of my trailer build right here, and I got the top hanging off over here for now. I'm going to leave it off until I get it wired up. That way, as I got everything open, it's going to be easier to wire up. But I've spent the last 3 days going through hell because of these Harbor Freight's hubs. Let me just go right out ahead and say it. The hubs that they put on their trailers are junk. And now here's the worst part, is that you're not going to find any parts. You're not going to find a greaser, because if there's one out there, I have yet to find it that will fit these damn things. And I had to take these dust caps, adapt them off something else, and literally beat the holy crap out of them to get them to work. I had to take the tabs and bend them in and get them to work. Now you see on this hub, you notice that bolt down there is not the same as them. That's a lock nut, and that's a regular lug nut. One of these threads was boogered up, and as I was tightening up, it just took the threads off, and so it spun out. So I take a hammer and I knock it out, go down to the local store, and there is not a stud in America that will match up with these damn hubs. All their parts are completely different. You go online and they ain't out there. So I put the American hub in there and that thing just spins. It won't fit. So, and not only that, the nut was bigger than these. And I need to have all these to be the same. Honestly, if I get another one of these trailers, I'm going to replace the hubs with American built hubs. That way I'll get parts for them. And on this one, these two across from each other, I took a nut, that's I think 3/4, and it's a lock nut, so it ain't going to go nowhere. Put a bolt through there and welded it on the back side. And I also welded the back side of this one to equal the weight out on either side. Also, these tires, I put quite a bit of balance beads in there to balance them out. But that's some of the bull crap I've been having to go through for the last 3 days to get a set of hubs to work for this thing. The guy I bought this off of, he took the grease caps off. Apparently he was going to put greasers on there and grease caps on there, and it don't have them. There's none out there made for Harbor Freight trailers. And if you go to Harbor Freight, like I did, and buy the damn things they have, they won't fit. Wasting your damn money. The inside diameter, I put a micrometer in there, is 2.05. Now the closest greaser is 1.980. And that sucker just sit there and just flop around. There's no damn way it'll work. So, honestly, if you get a trailer and you're building a trailer, go get your new American built hubs that you can get parts for. I bought a kit because I needed a bearing, and that seal wouldn't even, no way it would fit on the back of these. You have to get Harbor Freight seals for these. And they're okay. They'll do their job. But I'd not like going through all that kind of hell. And it's going to be a pain in the ass if you ever get out on the road and this damn thing breaks down and you need parts for it, because nothing's going to match. You know, that's a big point about this. But let me get on to my other things. I've got the cooler mount put on, and if you look underneath, I put little angle brackets to support it on both sides, and then I bolted them down. At least this way, this thing can come off if I ever want to shorten the trailer. But this will just pop right in place. I got to figure out some sort of strap that'll go over the top and hook into these little straps on the side. And it's pretty sturdy in place, which I wanted. I switched over to a 6-inch LED on the front there. Got that in place. I still, because of all this other bull crap that's gotten me in my way, have not gotten to my wiring yet. Let me show you something too. The back tail light I had moved up from the frame up. It's 1 inch, but you can see it's down a little bit, so that's be 12, 13, 14 inches. And I took a chunk out right here and I welded it on the other side. The reason is when I open that lid, I needed a little bit more room right here. That way I could, the lid will open better. So I just kicked it over a little bit. And I just used one bolt to hold my license plate on like that. And the light, this is for this side, has a clear piece right here, so it'll show on the license plate. Now I got some D-rings. I put them right in the middle. I want to run I got some straps, and I'll run a big strap up and over, and that will be how I'll keep that down. I had to invent a kickstand or fabricate one. This is 3/4 inch, this is 1 inch, and I just welded it on some 1/8 steel. And you'll see there's a washer right there and there's a washer right there, and I welded on top and bottom, and I did the same on that because I wanted the foot to be extra strong. And I got that D-ring pin that I could drop down. It'll leave the tongue way up. I was amazed that on these little trailers, you know, you need some sort of stand to hold that up, that I cannot find a kickstand anywhere. And but the hell with it, I made one. And anyhow, you guys can make one too. It'd be pretty easy. You know, you just go down to hardware and just get your own stuff. Now I got a Hobart 140. It's a 120 volt welder. So I put 2 passes in here, one down tight and one to fill in. And I think that's going to work out real good. I put a buddy of mine was saying if I'm going to get out there and get to going across vast areas, that I'm going to need an extra spare tire, or like extra gas can. So I found these off of Cheaper Than Dirt catalog site, and if you look at my other videos, you'll see that this was painted red, and it was on my four-wheeler. And it's a frame. You can get these angle iron pieces at the hardware store, and they're mostly used on garage door opener frames. They're easy to work with. What I did is I would just cut right there and move one end to flap over it, and I would bend it, and it'll be on the bottom side on that side. I put a 45 around it and welded it. So, and then I put this frame on the outside using these latches to hold it in place. This fits in there real snug, and then this fits over the top of it and latches down. So I'm going to look at some locks right there, and I'll need 2 for the lid, and I'll need something to hold that down with. But yeah, looking at these hubs, now you can see how this one I ended up, because I did the other side first, I took that inner lip and I bent on this one more. The other side, I got the whaling on it so hard that it warped out, and then I seen what the problem was. Took my chisel, knocked it down in there, and then proceeded to fix it in there properly. Now these hubs have a grease zerk on the back side of the flange hub that's right there. And I've never seen hubs like that before. I also cut up a piece of exhaust pipe and was using it. This has got a turned in spot right here, and used that to help get it in place. Now I ain't kidding, I've spent hours just to put damn greasers on this SOB, and and that's all adapted stuff, you know. To me, this stuff, you need to be able to be out on the highway and find stuff to fix these when you're out doing trips. And I've adapted a lot of crap right here, and that's bull crap. So that's why I say get you the American style of hubs and put on here. That way you're not going to have trouble. That's the best advice, and I have heard nobody say that on the web except me. I keep finding out all these problems and fixing them. Now you see I kind of went crazy with mud flaps, but number one, I can put reflectors on them, and number two, the front side mud flaps keeps from throwing crap onto your bike. The back side keeps from throwing crap onto your buddies behind you, and I think that's an important thing, because I see a lot of these, and you can see this comes down, and you got a lot of tire exposed right there. You know, I wouldn't want my buddies throwing crap all over me when I'm out there riding. But I know some people think it's silly, but these are cedar boards. They're not going to rot, and they're going to support the two channels that are on that top piece over there. And then this piece in the middle, there's pads that I have marked right here and right here of that piece, and I'm going to drill nut and bolt lock nut, to put them down on here when I get all my wiring done. And this piece, because there's a little pad that sticks down, is got a little bit of a rise in it right there. So I put that there to help support it. When it gets weight on it, that'll help support all that stuff through there. These trailers are designed to hold 900 and some odd pounds, but I'm not going to put that much luggage in there. But I did show y'all some of I come up with a really innovative spare tire carrier. That's 1-inch steel. That's all thread that goes through there. And I took this ended up being 5 inches from here to here of that square tubing piece. And I put 1/4-20 pieces like that through there and put nuts on them. And that locked it in place and made it perfectly centered on this. And as you can see down through there, that's a 3/4 inch pipe, and I put some 7/16 or 5/16. It's 5/16 bolts, the kind that fit on this all thread. Yeah, that's 5/16 on a bolt. And I got my vise and I crammed them into that tube. And then the end piece one, I tack welded around the edge. And then if you could see it down there, I got to the grinder and I fish mouthed it, and I put another piece on it, and I made a T. That way I used no tools whatsoever to take my spare tire off. I could just spin it on, spin it off. And that's what I was wanting. I don't know if I could show a picture. I should have left one of my tires off so I could show the back side of the hub and where the greaser is. You could barely see it down through there. It's right on the other side of that nut, right past my finger. There's the greaser, and it's on this side. So you basically got to take the tires off to grease it up. I want to use a big nice strap, and I use these D-rings, and I'll run a strap over the top of the luggage carrier, and it's going to have 2 locks on this side for the lid, and I'm going to put probably a closed cell foam and super glue it underneath the lid of this thing. That way when it closes, it'll be good and tight, pretty much watertight. Now I painted that ugly yellow color. Took me 3 cans to do the top. I wanted it bright so the idiots on the road will see. Also I did the top of the cooler, and that's just a cheap old Rubbermaid 48 quart cooler, but I got to get a strap figured out on that. But I had to take a break, man. I just busted my butt big time today getting these wheels and tires and hubs together. I've been working 3 damn days to get these hubs together. When I bought this trailer, it had no greasers on it, so I had to completely clean the insides of them, get one bearing, order the damn grease fitting or seals, because I couldn't find none of them everywhere. I've wasted a lot of time just searching for parts for these, and that's something I don't like doing. I found me a lug wrench that I'll carry that fits these lugs. I'm not going to put a jack with this because it's easy enough to pick up, and so it should be easy to change out tires on that. But right now, this is where I'm at, and this is in pretty good shape. I did a couple of diagonal braces. One, this is old scrap metal. I just drilled a hole and put them in there, right there. And I did one with the cut metal. Same thing there. I just used some existing holes that was there. But I wanted to build this thing to where it ain't gonna, you know, I don't want it to screw up when I'm out there doing trips. All the guys that's been begging me to get out and do trips with them, they've been, you know, they gripe about how they have to tie down what little clothes they take with them and take on a trip. And I got thinking, and I found this, and I said, well guys, you know, I do this. We can carry the right amount of clothes, or just whatever we need, and I'm not going to be overweight pulling it with my Goldwing. So these are some good advice out here, and it surprises me when I get on YouTube and I find out there's no videos out there of crap like this. So that's why I do these videos. That gas carrier, I put an extra brace right there, and it's lock nutted, nuts and bolts on all them sides. So I may call it a day, since I busted my ass putting that thing together. But yeah, I got a new tire there, and I used, what is that? Balance beads. I put balance beads inside these. So that's going to help out. But before I do any trips, I'm going to load this sucker down. I'm going to put a couple 100 pounds in it, and I'm going to test the hell out of it. I don't want to get out there on my initial run and just run into all sorts of problems, you know. And that's the thing about these things too. When you get you a trailer for your bike, you need to get out there and ride it and test it and get used to it, because it changes your handling ability and stuff like that. So you need to get used to stuff like that, and that's what I need to do. I'm going to get a bunch of them reflective stickers and put all around that frame. That way all them butthole drivers could be, look at me now. That's why I put them reflectors on them. But I'll put them on the sides. I'll even put them on the fuel tank there. But that's where I'm at for now. My next video will probably be the finished one. But I wanted to tell you guys about them hubs, and they're a pain in the ass, and you'll never find parts for them. That's the number one bitch that I got about the Harbor Freight trailers, is that you're not going to find parts for them. I always run the greasers on all my trailers. I could take you around to all my trailers, even my old crappy boat trailer there, and I got greasers on them because it makes it easy to maintain them. And there's not one built in America that will fit them that I have found. And I've looked. Hell, I got 3 sets of 1.994. I got 3 sets of them that won't fit nothing. So, that's my advice, and that's my video for today. And the next one will probably be the last one. I'll have it all wired in. And I'm going to leave that top off until I do the wiring. I'm going to solder everything and put shrink tubing and stuff like that. I'm going to do it upright. Now that I've really learned how to do good soldering, I'm not going to cheap out on it. I got to get these tools inside because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And but I've let that sucker whoop my butt today, and I didn't like that. Turning wrenches for 45 years, and it whooped my ass good today. A damn little trailer. But anyhow, that's the information that's I'm giving you guys is stuff that's not out there. So anyhow, you got good information. So run with it, and y'all have a good one. Anyhow, bye.